What's up, guys? Welcome to the world according to Patrick, where I'm going to attempt to do this anyway. I'm going to rank the albums of Fleetwood Mac, which is probably the hardest one I've done so far. But hell, it's a lot of fun anyway, so I'm going to do it. Go to my least favorite to my favorite. Of course, Fleetwood Mac came from a band called John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, which, of course, at one point had Eric Clapton and Mick Taylor, too, who was in the Rolling Stones for a minute. But Peter Green did an album called A Hard Road with him. Drummer was Mick Fleetwood, and bass player was John McVie. And talked him into leaving, formed the band Fleetwood Mac, which never had Peter Green's name in it, even though he formed the band, which, of course, have had many changes through the years, a lot of drama, but I'm not going to get into all that, but I'm just going to rank my personal favorites. These are just my personal favorites, of course. No one else's but mine. So hopefully no one, gets butthurt if they don't agree with me or whatever. But anyway, if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. But yeah, I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. They only have 17 albums. 17, yeah. And actually not a whole lot considering their first album came out in 1967. But I'm going to my least favorite to my favorite. So number 17 is an album called Time. Definitely my least favorite of the band. I'm sure it has its fans. It's got Becca Bramlett singing, Dave Mason, Billy Burnett, who of course replaced Stevie Nicks, who left the band at this point. Lindsey Buckingham had already been out of the band for a minute, but nothing memorable in here. Kind of a pile of shit to me, anyway, personally. But that would have to be number 17, and that's called Time. Number 16, album called The Killing House. Which first album to not feature Peter Green. You have Danny Kerwin and Jeremy Spencer in the fold, and really they could have took it and shined with it. To me, if they would have just stayed on that same blues-based way they were going with Them Play On, which they just left on such a high with Peter Green, and this album to me is a complete letdown. I know it has its fans probably, but a lot of rockabilly that Jeremy Spencer puts on here. None of the blues of old. It's just they totally changed the sound of the band. Not a fan of this band. Like the album cover, but for me personally, I'm just not a big fan of this album. And that's number 16 is Killing House. Number 15 is another album I don't own, and that is called Behind the Mask, which is the first album to not feature Lindsey Buckingham. Not as bad as I remember it being. It's actually a decent enough album, but it's very poppy sounding, which of course Fleetwood Mac's a pop band, right? Just like the Beatles or whatever. But to me, the songs aren't that memorable. Rick Vito, they brought in two people to replace Lindsey Buckingham, Rick Vito, and another guy named Billy Burnett, who actually played on the other album Time. So didn't have a very good history of the band to me personally, but that would be number 15, Behind the Mask. Coming in at number 14, album called Penguin. Album of Bob Welch, which, God, I love. Huge fan of Bob Welch. Very underrated. The whole Bob Welch era, to me personally anyway, is very underrated. But you have Bob Welch, Bob Weston, yeah, that's how you pronounce it, in the band. And a guy named Dave Walker, who actually played for Black Sabbath for about 5 minutes one of the times he quit during the Never Say Die era. But good enough album. To me, it's just some of the songs again are not as memorable. Some good songs though. I mean, my favorite song's probably Caught in the Rain, the instrumental, but some other good songs. But picture the band here. But that would have to be number 14, Penguin. Coming in number 13, I know a lot of people would have this a lot higher. I like the album. I'm just not that crazy about I think a lot of it's just the 80s at the time, product of its time. But I mean, this album sold a shitload of albums. Tango in the Night. I mean, you got Big Love on here, which is definitely my favorite song on the album. I love his acoustic version when he does that live. But Seven Wonders, Everywhere, that was a huge hit. Little Lies, of course. Decent enough album. Sold really well for him. Tango in the Night, that's number 13. Coming to number 12, Heroes Are Hard to Find. What a great album cover, huh? They got some really bizarre album covers. A picture of the band on the back with Bob Welch. Last album to feature Bob Welch. Not long after this in the tour, he left, and of course Lindsey and Stevie jumped in, and the rest is history, right? But pretty good album. Safe Harbor is a good instrumental. What is that song? Bermuda Triangle. I really like that song. There's a couple others on here. Good album. Again, the last album featured Bob Welch. That is Heroes Are Hard to Find. Coming in number 11, Mirage. I know a lot of people would have this higher. I like this album. Don't love it like some of these others, though. My favorite track on here is Hold Me, but I mean, you know, a lot of big hits. Gypsy's on here, I mean, which used to play constantly when I was younger. Only Over You, That's Alright. Empire State, that's not a great song. Wish You Were Here. Alright, that is number 11, Mirage. Come number 10, Bare Trees. I really, really like this album. I almost put this up a little higher. Last album that featured Danny Kirwan. Yes, last album that featured Danny Kirwan. Actually had a song on here, Sentimental Lady, which after Bob Welch left the band, he did a re-release of the song, which was huge all over the radio. I don't know if it made number 1, but it was in the top 2 anyway, I think. But you have Child of Mine, The Ghost, great song. Sunny Side of Heaven. Dust, yeah, great album. Number 10 is Bare Trees. Coming in number 9, I know a lot of people would have this higher. I like the album. I don't love it. I mean, I do love some of the songs on here, and that's Tusk. I think a lot of my problem with this is if they had condensed it and made it to a single album, it'd be a much better album to me personally. And, you know, honestly, to me, some of the songs on here I'm not that crazy about are the Lindsey Buckingham songs. But, I mean, it's a good enough album. I mean, Sarah is just brilliant. Great song. Love the title track, Tusk. Love Angel. There's some really good songs on here. I mean, but that would be number 9, Tusk. Number 8. Now, the rest of these I absolutely love. I mean, you know, great album. Future Games. First album to feature Bob Welch. This time Jeremy Spencer had left, joined a religious cult. I mean, they need to make a movie about all the drama that's happened to this band, come and going and all that. But great album. You got Woman of 1,000 Years. Future Games is one of my very favorite Fleetwood Mac songs of any incarnation of the band. Just a great underrated song. I'm going to tell you now, I think Bob Welch era Fleetwood Mac is so underrated. It's just, if you've never heard any of the Bob Welch era Fleetwood Mac, I would highly recommend you checking it out if you like Fleetwood Mac. I mean, some really good stuff here. But that's a great, great album here, and that is Future Games at number 8. Coming in at number 7, album I think it's really stood the test of time with me. I can't believe how much I still really like this album. And last time they actually ever recorded, Say You Will. Everybody, you know, the classic lineup, I guess they'd say, of the band is on here except for Christine McVie. But I mean, there's some really, really strong Lindsey Buckingham songs on here, especially. I mean, there's a song called Red Rover. I really like that song a lot. Peacekeeper. Calm's a great song. I mean, Goodbye. I mean, like Fleetwood Mac, it's just a great, great album here. I mean, and if this is their swan song, a good way to go out. Really good album. 7 is Say You Will. Coming in number 6, Mr. Wonderful, the second album, Fleetwood Mac album. Basically, you got this just standard British blues, but just love this stuff. If I had any gripe about this, Jeremy Spencer's songs to me all sound the same. I mean, he actually worshipped Elmore James, which is fine. Good slide blues, but a lot of his songs in here sound identical to the song he just played before. In saying that, though, it's still a really good album. I love Peter Green's stuff on here. I mean, Stop Messing Around is how it starts. Oh, that's great. Rollin' Man, that's another great. Love That Burns. Lazy Poker Blues, that's a great one. Peter Green song. But number 6 is Mr. Wonderful. Coming in at number 5, Great album. Not a great album cover, but a great album. Mystery to Me. My favorite Bob Welch album with the band. I mean, from front to back, this is a great album. I could actually almost rank it higher, but these other albums are, you know, hey, they are what they are. You got Emerald Eyes, Just Crazy Love, Hypnotized, Forever, Keep on Going, The City. I mean, just great album. Again, I could highly recommend any of the Bob Welch stuff. Stuff is so underrated to me, the Bob Welch era Fleetwood Mac, but that would be number 5. Coming in at number 4, these are hard to rank, man, but today this I'm gonna do it anyway. Self-titled, first album to feature Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. I mean, this of course took the band to superstardom. You have Rhiannon, of course, Say You Love Me, which, Landslide. World Turning is probably one of my favorite Lindsey Buckingham songs. Still a great song. Monday Morning. I mean, great album. Number 4 is Fleetwood Mac. Number 3, debut self-titled album, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Love this album. I mean, if you like good, solid British blues, gotta get this. Just check it out. I mean, I love it. You know, my heart beats like a hammer. Lone Gray Mare, Shake Your Money Maker. I mean, from front to back, it's really good stuff. They were actually bigger than the Beatles at one point in the, I think it was 68, right around the time this album came out. Really great album, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Number 3. Number 2 and 1, I went back and forth. I could have, I don't know. Today anyway, I decided to do it like this, and I'm sure most people would have. This is their number 1, but I'm gonna have it as my number 2. Rumors, one of the greatest albums of all time, one of the greatest selling albums of all time. It's, I think, in the top 2 or 3, right? But great songs on here. I mean, front to back, all radio hits. I mean, maybe that's why I have it as my number 2. I'm just bringing on a lot of this, but it's still a great album, right? I mean, Dreams, Don't Stop, Go Your Own Way, Songbird, You Make Lovin' Fun, Gold Dust Woman, Oh Daddy. I mean, terrific album. That's my number 2 for me anyway. Great album though, Rumors. But my number 1 has got to be my number 1. Love this album. Last album to feature Peter Green, unfortunately. I just wish he would have stayed with the band a little longer, but unfortunately he had a lot of problems. He was suffering from schizophrenia and did a lot of acid, kind of similar to the whole Syd Barrett situation. But just what a way to go out, though. I mean, I love this album, and I really didn't care for this album when I first heard it. I mean, it took several listens to me to appreciate as much as I do now. It's one of my favorite albums. But I mean, Coming Your Way, Close My Eyes, Underway, Rattlesnake Shake, Searching for Madge, When You Say, Like Crying Before the Beginning. I mean, I love this album. Just a terrific album. So I'm going to go from my favorite to my least favorite now. Number 1 is Then Play On. Number 2 is Rumors. Number 3 is Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Number 4, Fleetwood Mac. Number 5 is Mystery to Me. Number 6, Mr. Wonderful. Number 7, Say You Will. Number 8, Future Games. Number 9, Tusk. Number 10, Bare Trees. Number 11, Mirage. Number 12, Heroes Are Hard to Find. With these bizarre covers, man. I don't know, man. But number 13, Tango in the Night. Number 14, Penguin. Number 15, Behind the Mask. Number 16 is Killing House, and which I do own. And number 17 is Time. And a lot of people think this is an album, but actually it's a compilation that came out when Peter Green was still in the band. The Pia's Bird of Good Omen. Did I pronounce that right? I think I did. Definitely an album if you can find worth checking out. You can get it on eBay, I think, and or Amazon. You got Albatross on here, which was a single. Great instrumental. Black Magic Woman, of course. Need Your Love So Bad is one of my favorite, if not my very favorite Peter Green song. His version anyway. He didn't originally write that, but that's just a great song. Just front to back, great album here. And I would definitely highly recommend this too. A DVD documentary about his life. Mainly stay focused on the Fleetwood Mac era. I wish they would have got a little bit more into what happened to him after he left Fleetwood Mac. Because he did, again, suffer from schizophrenia, and he had an incident when he went out of the country with Danny Kerwin. They bring out him as well, and they both were never the same after doing a lot of acid LSD. And it's actually kind of sad, but it's a very fascinating story. And he just passed away a few years ago, too. But, one of my very favorite guitarists of all time. Definitely worth checking out. Anyway, that was hard, man. I didn't think it was going to be, but just very difficult because their music's so vast, it's different, and you had so many different incarnations of the band and so much drama in the band. Good God. But definitely love the Peter Green era and the Bob Welch era. All of it, hell. But anyway, if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. That was a lot of fun. I think I'm going to tackle Pantera next. I wonder why with everything. But I think I'm going to try doing that next time. But again, if you like what you see, please hit subscribe and like. I will talk to you guys soon. Later.